हाँ कंट्रोल L. Sir, we are go live. Good morning and Jai Shri Krishna to everyone. This is the third seminar which we are going to view. To start with the seminar, I would like to introduce the KCBF in very brief. So, Jai Shri Krishna to all. Being a member of KCBF is like having a whole team of sales people working for you. KCBF is a platform of, for, and by Khadaita who are spread across the globe. KCBF is a business professional networking organization that allows only Khadaitas. The sole purpose is to give its member more business. It is based on the mission connect, communicate, and conduct. It is to support each other to develop, initiate, provide services from our community members. KCBF is only a legally constituted organization working for Khadaitas on the business front, currently having 2000 plus members through digital platform and life members are 250, making the business of rupees 1.5 crore in the last 3 years. Khadaitas are joined through different WhatsApp groups such as Mumbai members 1 and 2, life members, CAs, teachers, and informative groups. We have our own portal www.khadaitabusinessnetwork.com, yellow pages for Khadaitas. Further, I would like to welcome CA Chaitanya Shah for today's webinar. To share a brief of Chaitanya Bhai, he is having the experience of more than 20 years. He has been providing management and financial advisory support to services to SMEs, particularly those are on the growth path. So I would like to welcome Chaitanya Bhai. Yes, sir.
Good evening.
The dais
Good
is
evening.
yours.
Yeah.
Good
Thanks.
evening, sir.
Thanks, Hardik. Good evening, friends of KCBS plus the other people who joined to the webinar. It's my great pleasure to share the platform for KCBF, which is doing great service for the community. I would start straight with the session, which is on business growth and financial management. At the outset, I would like to mention few words about the period which we have passed through in last 4 months. It's a historic and unprecedented time which the mankind has gone through, which has never been seen earlier. At the same time, our country is also passing through the historic times, and in that context, keeping that thing and the changes which are likely to come and which are already in the process, that would be the backdrop under which I am giving this presentation, and it will deal with the key aspects of business growth and the financial management. First, if you recall, we have a target of 5 trillion economy by 2025. In that context, Narayan Murthy had said that no economic transformation can take place unless there is cultural transformation. And when he's talking about the cultural transformation, he's emphasizing hard work, honesty, courtesy, discipline, trust, putting the interest of commons ahead of private interest. These are important attributes, and for that, we need leadership by example. Not by one leader, but it has to be by every leader in politics, corporate, civil, and academic in particular. And all of you would recall that last couple of days, we have seen a basic change in our academics, keeping in line with the earlier requirements, what Murthy has said, and that will be the real backbone of great change which is going to take place. Now we'll come to the subject proper, which is of business growth. Hardik, okay.
Yes, sir.
when we are talking of business, all of us we know that it is the backbone of the economy and the society, and that is what decides the country's future in the long term. So, what are the key expectations of economy and society from the business? First is contribution to GDP, which is the gross domestic product. Second is employment creation. Third is support to big industries. Fourth is distribution of wealth. Fifth is regional disparities and entrepreneurship. This is what is looked up, basically expectation from the economy and the society. Now, in this particular context, MSMEs have tremendous growth opportunities in the current environment which the country is passing through, which we will also be touching upon in the coming slides. Now, what is the business journey of a particular business? First, it starts with idea, which is at that stage, everybody is looking at idea validation. Second is tiny and micro business, which looks at the commercial validation of the idea, how that idea can be utilized for the purpose of converting into business in a big way. Third stage is small scale, where the entrepreneur is going to create the infrastructure. Thereafter comes the medium stage, where the business is further growing and the entrepreneur works on focusing on the growth. And when you become large scale, large corporates, you are planning to grow domestically and internationally. Now, this will cover manufacturing, trading, and services, all the three major areas which are there. Now, the biggest issue as far as the economy, Indian economy is concerned, we don't have the time whereby I can share the statistics. The problem is that at the idea validation and the commercial validation, there are a number of units which are failing and there is a very high mortality rate. Government is working hard to see that this particular stage is minimized or the losses are reduced, which will help in a big way. Just for your information, 99.5% of the MSME units are today in tiny and micro stage. So there is a huge scope for people to grow. Now, in this context, what are the issues which are involved and what are the things which are there, which we'll see in the coming slides. Now, when a business wants to grow, what are the essentials for growth? First is the business model. Whatever business model you are looking at, whatever business you want to enter into, it could be the smallest of the small, a chaiwala. If you see today, Yevla Chai have converted into a franchisee, and so many people are doing that franchisee business. And that is where business model, innovation, new products, markets is something which one must keep in mind. Entrepreneurship is the next one, and which, according to me, is very, very crucial. And the emphasis is on the vision, passion, and the values which the entrepreneur brings to the table in his organization. We have two glaring examples. One of Dhirubhai, even when he was working on a petrol pump, his vision was to set up a world-class number one refinery in the world. Similarly, Narayan Murthy, he waited for 10 years for his dream to get realized and put up a world-class number one IT company. Passion is something where you are single mind working only on your business and project. And value is something which is very, very important. And that is what has been emphasized in the first slide, which I will mention in a very subtle way as we go along. Third is the management skills. Management skills are very important as the business is growing. As you grow to different levels, from say idea to micro, micro to small to medium, and medium to the large scale. Management skills become very important, which we'll touch upon later on. Financial literacy and management. Financial literacy and management is key to the business as it grows, because that is what is the key in terms of appraising or understanding how the business is growing. Thereafter, very important aspect which most of the units as they grow are facing is attracting and retaining people and building a good team. Now here I will just make a small reference to the different types of entrepreneurship. One is a businessman. His focus is more on making money for himself and his family. Second is satisfied businessmen. They do not show, and this is one of the major issue as far as India is concerned. There are many people who do not want to grow. And third is the entrepreneur. They are the real people who enter into a business, come with an idea, and then grow it slowly and gradually into the different phases and become a large corporates. What are the key aspects of business management? When you are setting up a business, whether it is manufacturing or trading or service, this is applicable in all the cases. First is marketing and sales. Now, one has to understand the distinction between marketing and sales. Marketing is you are creating future market through which you will continuously keep on getting orders. And the second is sales, where the orders are received and you execute those. Next stage is materials procurement and inventory. This is very important in manufacturing and even in trading. Operations, production. This is delivering the products in time to see that the required services as required by the customer is properly furnished. Another aspect is human resources, then the finance. Now, in order to go through these five, one has to go through the 3S strategy: strategy, structure, and systems. One has to follow. Strategy is simple, whatever business you are in. Even if I am a simple business, I think we have a lot of people in our community who are into LIC or insurance business, or maybe some kind of trading activities. Strategy is where I want to be 3 years from now. For that, what type of people I need, that is structure, and how I'm going to getting it achieved is the systems. That will be achieved through the systems. These are the three key areas which one has to follow. Business sustainability and financial management. Any business which is being set up, we are not setting up the business for a short term. We are putting all our career, all our life in working on a business. Sometimes businesses fail and we switch over to the other one. The basic objective is to create a long-term sustainability, means the business will continue for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, or maybe 100 years if we take companies like Tata or groups like Tata. And there are many more companies and businesses, even in small businesses, business traders we can find who are there for 30, 40, 50 years. Now, this has a direct link with the financial management, because when you want to build a sustainable business, it is implied that you will generate enough resources for you to survive on the long term. And for this, the following three keys are important. One is optimization of resource utilization. Optimization of resource utilization means, say, for example, take an example of a hotel. Now, if hotel has 100 rooms, it is expected that you try to achieve whatever is the occupancy rate for that hotel. It could be starting with 80, then you try to go to 90, you go to 100, and I have seen the numbers where in a very busy season, they go to 105 and 110. Now, this is where when you are optimizing your resource utilization, your return on investment, ROI, which will come little later, will also increase in a big way. And that is what the objective is. But along with this, the second objective, which is very important, is the fair distribution of the money which you generate to all the stakeholders. Now, if you are talking of your business, who are all the stakeholders? If you are alone, if you are having partners, your partners. If you are a company, your shareholders. They are the first stakeholders. Then all your suppliers, all your customers, your employees, people who have financed you, all these people are your stakeholders. And it's very important that you have a fair distribution of money, profits which you are generating in an equitable manner for creating a long-term organization. And third thing is financial reporting, governance and compliances. It should be transparent. Today, it's a major issue as far as the economy is concerned. All of you who may be following the large corporates, the issues are with governance. Yes Bank is a classic example. And like that, there are so many companies and the businesses who have ran into problems because of the governance issues and compliances. Now, the last two or all the three, financial management plays a very, very important role. And this is where we will come to that aspect now. Hardik, if there is any question, you can ask the audience. Hardik, hello. Hardik, hello.
Yes, sir.
If there are
Are
any
you audible?
questions, you can.
Right now, there is no questions. Audience are getting engaged, so you can continue with the session. No worries, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. Now, next
Yes.
we come to financial management in the business, how they are interrelated. Now, financial management has basically three aspects or three branch of accounting. One is financial accounting, second is cost accounting, and third is management accounting. Now, these are all basically the technical terms, but in very simple terms, if I explain, financial accounting is the recording of the transactions as they take place day to day, week to week, month to month, quarter to quarter, and yearly. Now, in the shortest span, if you can get your actual position of your finances or your accounts information, you are comfortable. So, financial accounting is very important. It has to be done, and there should be absolute clarity and accuracy. Second, cost accounting is dealing with your understanding of the working, how the working is taking place, whether in a particular product line, are you making money or not? That is the analysis of your profits or loss from a particular line of product or a particular line of activity. Suppose you are having four different products, two may be making extraordinary profit and two may be making losses. So you need to look into that, and that is where the costing becomes very important. Third, management accounting is something which is dealing with the projections. If you have to plan for next 2 or 3 years, based on financial accounting and cost accounting, applying the principles of management accounting, you can plan, you can do the forecasting for next 3 to 5 years. And this is what is required to be done in the smallest of the small business as well. Now, what is return on investment? We mentioned this particular terminology. Return on investment in profits upon investment. Profits is margins. Whatever you are realizing by way of sales or collections, and out of that, whatever costs you are incurring, after that, whatever is left is your margins. That is profits in our normal term. And investment is the amount of money which you have invested, all the assets, whether it is current assets or fixed assets, maybe office, maybe certain investments in your debtors or inventories or anything, or collections which are to be collected, bank balances which are lying. These are the assets. And the simple calculation I have given below, say you have invested 5 lakhs of rupees in a business. You are making 1 lakh. So your profit margin, return on investment is 20%. If you make 2 lakhs, it is 40%. And if you make 3 lakhs, it is 60%. This is how the calculation, and this has to be religiously be calculated and monitored. And this is again one of the thing which I find most of the people ignore, or rather I have not seen anybody doing it systematically. You have to distinguish between your business and personal finance and monitor them separately on a regular basis to understand that what you have done in a particular year, whether you have made money out of your business activity or whatever activity you are doing, even if you are doing service. And in personal finance, what has happened? This is very important. Now, one of the aspects which I find is that as the business is growing, you go through the different ways. You also evaluate. Your evaluation takes place in financial management. In the first stage, when you are at the idea or startup stage, micro stage, your focus is only on compliances. Whether my GST returns are filed or not, whether my income tax returns are filed or not, monthly, quarterly, PF, my labor payments and all that. So you are only concerned with the compliances. As you grow, you use this information for raising funds. And the third is very important, that the actual financial management has to be used for the business management, how I grow my business. And for that, the business management becomes very important. Now, business performance monitoring. How do you use the financial management for your business performance and growth? First is, you should have projected profit and loss account and balance sheet, which are called as financial statements. This is based on the projections which you make, that say for example today we are in 2021. Now with this lockdown kind of a scenario, you will not be able to do the same kind of a business which you would have done in 1920. So you do the projections for 2021, 21, 22, and as the time passes, you look at the actual. Say for example 6 months will end in September 20. You understand and take the periodic profit and loss account and balance sheet and say where you have fared and what is the situation. It will give you a very clear picture where you stand vis-a-vis what you had planned. Third is cash flow, how the cash flow is going to work, because this is the liquidity aspect. And that cash flow management is very important for small businesses in particular. Next is costing, and thereafter plan versus actual. Whatever plan you are doing, whatever you have planned, and what is actual, that analysis is very important where you have failed, so that in future you can take the corrective actions. And ideal situation should be try to go as close to the plan. Essentials for good financial management. If you have to do good financial management, then what are the key aspects to be done? And this is where I have found that many people have issues in terms of setting up a good financial management system. And this is true particularly as they slowly grow. So long as they are alone, no issue. But as they grow, then these issues arise. First is management awareness and commitment. How much the management is aware and committed to having a good financial management systems. And if they are committed, that will decide the quality of financial management in the organization. Because then the subsequent steps which are there, they will appoint a competent accounts head who will know how to manage the financial management systems and financial accounts and accordingly carry out the required processes for that. In small organization, what happens? They do not get the right kind of competent people, in which case they should outsource these services, and which is a subject by itself. Next is, if you have a good competent account heads, then he will be in a position to design good accounting systems which will help in terms of getting all the three things which we mentioned earlier, starting with the financial statements, periodic accounts, costing, and rest of the things, cash flow, etc. Then you need a very good computerization support. Nowadays, Tally has many features, and Tally can give you and provide you number of information which is required for running your business smoothly and efficiently. And you can also find many professionals in the market today. But very important is, it's a tool at the end of the day. One has to know how to make use of this tool. And that is where the computerization and extracting the right information from them is very important. Next is integrated systems. It is very important that as the business slowly starts growing, you must have your systems and processes in place, because as your organization grows, the owner is going to go away from the point of action. Say, for example, he is not going to be at the plant, he is not going to be with the sales team, he is not going to be with the purchase manager to ensure that all the activities are done in a proper manner as he would have liked to get it done. So he is going to replace himself with integrated systems which are very important in terms of ensuring that they are able to get the right kind of results, whatever is estimated. And for this, your next thing is timely and accurate management information systems. Management information system is the actually lifeline of slightly bigger organization. As you grow, MIS, integrated management system, becomes the driving force for the management, because it will give in summary form all the required information which is necessary for him to take the decisions for the business. And getting this entire thing will help him to monitor the performance of the business on an ongoing basis. Bigger the business, bigger the organization, you require stronger and more efficient MIS, which gives you information on a shortest possible time. If you are having a monthly P&L account, it should be available to you in 3 to 4 days or maybe 5 days. So these are the kind of things, cash flows, you need to have it on a regular basis. Now, post COVID-19, what is the financial management? I have purposely taken this thing because everybody is concerned about it, and this is what is required for the people to understand and do it. Sudden closure, what has happened in this COVID-19 pandemic, the businesses have been required to close down suddenly. And as a result, when they closed down, they were not having the current data because they didn't have any time to close it. So as you open, try to get the accurate data as to what was the situation when you closed, and slowly build the data as of date, that what is the situation today. Your business activities had fallen to zero during last 4.5 months. So plan to see that the business activity starts coming from maybe 0 to 10, 10 to 15, 20, 30, 40. Today, as I understand from the uh, organization, the business chambers and commerces, we have already reached a 40% operations level in industry. So we have to plan that we reach the optimum level which was there before at the shortest possible time, and that should be the plan. That whether I will finish it in 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. How soon I can reach that level is something which is very important. And during this phase, cash flow management is going to be crucial because there are going to be tremendous limitations on the inflows. Your outflows are committed particularly for two areas. One is materials and the salaries and wages payment. And this is where getting money from the banks, government has given certain facilities under which you can keep on getting some money to ease your liquidity to go and start your operations in a proper manner. Besides, work on moving from zero to normal in the shortest possible manner, and this is where the innovations are very important. Monitor top and bottom line. You have to see that you reach your sales levels, the earlier sales level which you used to have, maybe at 80%, 90%, or 100%, and related to that, what was your bottom line? What kind of a profit you are making? Because during this pandemic and till you reach the normal level, the businesses will be making losses. So these losses, estimates, and how to meet those numbers and liquidity and the cash flow requirement during this phase is the crucial aspect for most of the businesses. Review your business model. Now this is becoming very, very important. With the change in the social pattern, the way people have been living, various business models have changed. One of the most common things which we find is that today restaurants, they are not allowed to take the customers inside the restaurant. So all of them have started with the parcel and the delivery service. Similarly, as far as your provision stores are concerned, they are trying to get into it. All the large departmental stores, they are getting into it. So you may have to look at your business model, how your business model needs to be changed in terms of the way things have panned out in the last 4.5 months. 3 years business projections, particularly if you are having slightly bigger business, then it is very important that you make your, in the change environment, make your 3 years of business projections to understand how the business has been impacted and how you are going to meet those changes so that your business maybe in 6 months or a year or year and a half comes back to normal. Some of my clients where I have been dealing with, this is what is the emphasis, and we are working on that particular area, how the business can come back and work. Now, say for one of the person, sanitizer has become a very big business. So they have dropped some of the items from the regular thing and they are making sanitizers in a big way. So these are the kind of changes which will have to be done. And last but not the least, closely review every month and quarter how you have fared against what we are estimating. And this is what will become very, very important for people to do it. Now, keys to success. Now, what we need to change as a businessman, and this again, I am talking in the context of first thing, the first slide of Narayan Murthy's comments on this. This is what I am very, very empathetic. First is adaptability and learning. In this change environment, every entrepreneur, every businessman, whether he's small, big, or very big, or just starting the line, they will have to learn how to adapt to the change environment. And through this learning, will have to innovate. How to innovate in their own business line is something which will be very, very crucial for them, and they will have to ensure that that particular part innovation takes place and precedence in their day-to-day life now. Leadership and managerial qualities. When we are passing through unprecedented times, it also requires for unprecedented measures to get out of that situation and bring the life back to normal. And this is where your leadership qualities and managerial qualities will play a very, very important role in building a right environment for your business. And this is where, as a owner, as a person who is running the business, it is very important to have these qualities and they need to adapt to the situation. Business and financial acumen. Since the business model itself has gone topsy turvy, it is very important that your business acumen, identifying new areas, avenues of business, and evaluating in financially that whether it is good for them in the long term or short term, and how the business has to adapt, how to build a business model is something which is very important, and that business and financial acumen is very, very key and important. Building consensus and win-win. This is where your value system, you have to build consensus. Now, say for example, you are looking at the materials part, then with your supplier, whether it is your banker, whether it is your employee, whether it is your production team, you will have to build a consensus of all the parties who are involved in a particular decision making and see that you create a win-win situation. When you create a win-win situation, everybody is comfortable and everybody will be willing to come forward with their contribution. And this will create a wonderful opportunity for you in times to come. And last but not the least, credibility and transparency. My 40 years of experience in the field, 20 years in industry and 20 plus years in SME consulting, I find that these are the two things where our entrepreneurs need to change in a big way. One of the reasons why bankers are having reservation in giving the loans to the SMEs is the lack of credibility and transparency. They have to improve it with all the stakeholders, and the ones who will do it, they will come out the winner. Now, one important aspect which I would like to say in this matter, and this is one area where I'm concentrating, is that as the business grows, these are the new definition based on the turnover of the uh, business unit at different levels. If you notice small scale and medium, I have put it in red. Now, in phase one, the business by and large is carried out by the owner himself on his own shoulder. He is running the business on his own. But as the business is moving towards 50 crores and further in the medium scale, the business has to move from individually managed to the team managed. He has to start working with a larger team. And this is a major shift where most of the people, they face a huge challenge, and that is where they are finding it difficult. And this is where I do the hand holding for these people. Now, two things which I would like to mention, and this is what I find again missing with most of the SME owners. One is MSME entrepreneurs don't need fish, they need to learn fishing. It means that most of the time the business owners or the entrepreneurs, they are receiving small inputs, whether it is related to GST, whether it is related to income tax, whether it is related to their software, whether it is related to their uh, digital marketing or something. These are all different tools. What is important is for the owner to understand how all these correlate and how the business can grow, keeping all these things together and what to expect from each of this. And this is the most important thing. As the business grows from small scale to medium scale, they need to understand this. And the second one is businesses don't plan to fail, but they fail to plan. Means whatever the business we are in, even if I am in a pure and simple consulting, I am into any other kind of say dressmaking or something, which I see a lot of ads in our KCBF forum. Even then, I must see that what is my turnover this year, 20 lakhs. Next year, what should be my turnover? Say I want to go to 30 lakhs. Thereafter, I want to go to 50 lakhs. So, what are the different things I should bring into the business and how I can grow? Because that is what is planning. And if I have planned that, my mind will start working on that and I will start working on those resources. And this is something which is very important. Now, two, because it is a KCBF forum, I am mentioning two things. This is what, and this is again with respect to the first slide, which I mentioned about the social transformation. What Gandhiji said years back was the things that will destroy our society are politics without principle, pleasures without conscience, wealth without work, knowledge without character, business without morality, science without humanity, and worship without sacrifice. This is what Gandhiji said in 1940s. Now, what this gentleman, Chris Hedges, has said in 2015, you will see the reality. We now live in a nation where doctors destroy health, lawyers destroy justice, universities destroy knowledge, governments destroy freedom, press is destroying information, religion is destroying morals, and banks are destroying the economy. You can understand what is the great truth in what we have been talking about, what is changing the academic syllabus, the new education policy. We have to, time has come when we will have to change in a big way. And the last word I would like to use is the credibility of entrepreneurship. Anybody with high credibility and business leadership, good business model, he will come out a winner in times to come. His business will grow. Okay, with this I end my presentation and the contact details if anybody has any. Now, Hardik,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
now if any question, tell.
Yeah, there are a few questions asked by the audience today. So I would
Yeah,
address around three questions. The first
yeah.
question is what will be the GDP for 2021 and how this pandemic will hurt the growth of country? This is asked by Mr. Sandeep Shah.
Okay. One, our GDP
Yes, sir.
growth was hovering around 4.5% before the pandemic, which had already dropped for various reasons. May, may I'm
Yes.
may go to zero or maybe slightly negative. But it will be far better. Two silver line means it will be far better than other countries where the GDP growth has gone into negative. Countries like Italy and Spain, they have a -% GDP. Another silver line which I find and which is I already see the signs of is that our economy will recover much faster than any other economy.
Right, sir. So another question is from Yes. How to manage finance at the startup level? I think this is a very startup kind of question for the new generation who want to come into the business. So
Yes,
can you address this question, please?
sure. In fact, I really appreciate one of the persons from our own Khadaita community had approached me some time back. Now, startup level, it is very important, and understanding basics of financial management. Understand ROI. Once you understand ROI, return on investment, how the financial statements are drawn, whether it is profit and loss account or balance sheet, you understand this. And if you do it from the beginning, see, as I mentioned, what happens at startup level, people concentrate only on the compliance part. But for startup, it is very important that they should do very systematically the future plan for minimum 3 years, next 3 years. Say you are a startup and having a turnover of say about 10 to 15 lakhs in the first year when you are
Correct.
working as a startup. Now you plan that if you have to go to 30 lakhs or 40 lakhs, what is required to be done? In this process, go through everything in detail from where you are going to get the orders. If you get the orders, how you are going to execute, what kind of manpower will be required, what kind of a funding will be required, what kind of materials will be required, and do those projections in a systematic way and create your financial accounting in a manner that you are able to compare on a periodic basis every quarter, being a startup, every quarter or every 6 months, that where you stand vis-a-vis what you had planned. It would be a wonderful thing if you can do it from the beginning.
Okay, that
Yes,
sounds really good. One last question I would like to take. This is something related to सर, अगर कोई इंसान पर कर्जा है और उसे धंधा करना है तो कैसे कर सकता है?
wonderful.
This is very deep question, but yes, need to address. He already someone
Yes,
is burdened with the loan. So please, sir.
yes. See, it's a very good question. Uh, you would have seen, I will give you example, although it's not the right forum to give that example, but you take the example of Amitabh Bachchan, the one which comes to my mind immediately. He was in absolute debt around 1995 to 2000 kind of a period, and he
Very
came
true,
back
very true.
bouncing back, and he has paid off every penny from every person he had taken. So what is important
Correct.
is, even if you have losses or for whatever reasons, you must understand the reasons why the losses have taken place. You must understand. Now, say for this pandemic, this 4.5 months, lot of people would have incurred losses, and for a jolly good reason. So you must know the reason why the losses have taken place, and then you look at the future, how the things are going to change. If the losses are there because of something which has closed down, say you were running a camera shop, you were having a photography shop, and because of
Right.
people switching over to mobile and all those kind of things, other modes of photography, your business is not making money and you have been making losses for last 2 to 3 years. Now, if you have incurred these losses, you can't continue that business.
Correct.
You have to look forward to a sunrise business. Sunrise means something, the business which is going to grow, say digital. Now, I know number of organizations consulting which are switching over to webinars and online consulting. So even after you have made the losses, you can easily go to businesses which would really give you very good returns. Classic example again, March, lot of people would have made losses in the stock market.
Very true. I was supposed to
One
address
would
that
have made
particular.
losses in the stock market. But now, those who have paid back, I understand pharma stock has recovered more than 160%. So you should know where to put your money. And this is where what I mentioned, your business and financial acumen becomes very important.
Correct.
I hope I hope the matter is clear.
Yeah, perfectly. It was really nicely explained by you. So, viewers, it was a really nice session by CA Chaitanya Bhai Shah. I really thank Chaitanya Bhai from whole team of KCBF to give his precious time to deliver this particular webinar. Thanks a lot, audience, to view this particular session and gain the awesome knowledge from Chaitanya Bhai. I would request every audience to please like, share, and comment, as well as subscribe to this particular KCBF channel to stay tuned. So, thank you and Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you, Chaitanya Bhai, once again. Thank you.
Okay, my
Thank
pleasure,
you,
my
sir.
pleasure. Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah.
yeah.